Good morning, everyone. So, so I took only one class in Zoom app because of insecurity, and now I am going to have a recorded session. So it will be a day very clear and easily understandable. So you people go through this. So currently, I will be starting with module 2. So module 2 I have already discussed. So I will have a fine brush up of all these things. So first will be the history and evolution of Java. So I will be having a bright slide of this particular thing. So in this is the Java is derived from the C++, which is the incident of C. Why we have gone for this C++ because of C means C++ is provides n number of objects, and there is no limited number of variables that can be discussed using this particular concept. So it derives object oriented, whereas C programming language is a structured oriented language. So all the variables in C, all the variables are to be declared first before they are operating. But in C++, we can have a number of variables can be declared and initialized when there is the use of that particular thing. So first will be the brief introduction of C with C++. So next we go on to the C++ concept. So under the C++, why you are going for the C++ is for providing the security. So in order to providing the security in the terms of space and time complexity. So if there are n number of objects or more, we can't go with a procedure-oriented programming language. Hence, we are making use of object-oriented programming language, and it makes the user easy to understand. So all this will be the brief introduction. Let's get on to the syllabus part. So why the Java basics? So under the Java basics, in your module 2, you'll be having the first topic, that is Java bytecode. So Java bytecode, first you come to the concept. So what is Java bytecode? So first, initially, here is the figure which illustrates the what is the bytecode concept and all. So first, you will be having a Java file that you will be writing the Java program. So Java program will be compiled by using the Java C compiler. Using the Java C compiler, it converts the high-level language into intermediate code, and that intermediate code is called as a class file, which is also called as a byte code. So byte in the sense 8 numbers. So 8 numbers will be represented in the form of binary, that is zeros and ones, that we call it as a class file, which is given. So after that, now it will be moving on to the executable file. Once there are no errors done by the compiler, then it will be easily shifted to the asking the input and output that is given in the running phase. So next you have the features of the Java. So before you go for the features, we have a new concept called Java Buzzwords. So features as well as Java Buzzwords are same. So now we have totally 10 buzzwords which tells the features of Java. So first one is simple. So simple in the sense it is any Java program written can be easily understandable. So it requires very less effort to learn, because each and every program will start with a main, and that main is placed inside the class. So now we can tell it is simple to easily understand our programming language. So after that, next will be the after simple. First will be the simple, and second one is secure. So as you all know, the secure concept, in order to implement the secure concept only, we are making use of C++ as well as Java. So secure, how you are making the secure means by using the particular data members and member functions declared within 3 access specifiers. So 3 access specifiers are private, public, and protected. Using this, now you can secure each and every data members as well as member functions. So next will be the portable. Portable in the sense it can be the program written in one system can be executed in another system also. That's why we can tell it as portable. So if you have compiled the program using any Java command, Java editors like NetBeans, Eclipse, and so many things, everything can be changed from one operating system. It can be executed in another operating system also. So that's why we call it as portable. So after portable, next we get object oriented. So object oriented means each and everything will be dealt in the name of class. So class will contain what? Data members as well as member functions. Next we are after that, next we create an objects. So objects will are the one which are created inside the main function which act on data members and member functions. So all the main function which is placed outside the class can also be accessible by using this particular data members and member functions. So that's why we call it as an object oriented. So after the object oriented, next comes robust. So robust in the sense we can tell it as how much the program restricts the particular errors. If there is no failure in your program or no errors in your program, then we tell it as the program is error free. So that is the word which is most of the things, most of the options given. So it is strictly typed language. It can be compiled anytime. And if any no errors are there, then that particular system, the program is said to be error free. So after this, next we come for the multi-threaded. So next example, multi-threaded means you can have a parallel of the operations carried out at one time. That is called as a multi-threaded. Thread is the sense it is a function. So inside a class, you can have a number of member functions, and that a number of member functions can be n number of member functions can be executed parallelly. So suppose if you are having arithmetic operation, so arithmetic operation will consist of member function like add, sub, multiply, and div. So all these values can be executed at one time, and all the function codes can be executed at one time there because of the multi-threaded concept of OOP. So architectural neutral. So architectural neutral means once you have considered an example. So today is April 17, 2020. So currently you have written one particular program. So suppose you have executed that particular program today only. So suppose you want to execute after 1 week. Will that particular program will run or not? So that will be the question. So that's why we say write once, run anywhere, anytime, forever. That is the goal behind Architectural Central. So most of the questions will be framed on this Architectural Central. So keep these particular words in your mind. Write once, run anywhere, anytime, and forever. That gives you an architectural neutral. So after that, interpreted and high performance. So interpreted in the sense, once you write any Java, it is a high level programming language. It will be converted into the assembly level or also called as class. So class file will contain the bytecode. So that is called as a intermediate representation because the intermediate means middle one. So high level should be converted into machine level. So machine level language or low level language. So both are same. So in before converting into the low level language, it will be converted into intermediate representation that is called as a Java bytecode. So it will be a class file. So each and every program, what you have a.java as a file name, once you compile, so you will be getting a.obj, or that's the one particular file a.obj or a.class, where a is the file name. So then that can be implemented and then can be executed also. So that's why we can tell there are very less error prone, and it results if there are no errors, then there will be a high performance. So distributed. So distributed in the sense your program can be executed, can be placed anywhere, and it can be used by any other programs. So that's why we tell it as a distributed. Dynamic. So main sentence of the dynamic is in C++ as well as Java. So you can create a variables at any time, and that can be implemented at any particular session. So that is why called it as dynamic, whereas C cannot. So in the C programming language, you have to create all the variables initially, whether it can be used at last also, it should be created initially. But whereas in C++ and Java, when that particular variable is used, at that time only you can declare and initialize that particular thing. So come for the bytecode. So till now I have been telling what is bytecode, what is bytecode, what is bytecode. But come for the particular thing. Suppose you write any Java program. So Java program will have an extension .java. So that .java will be compiled. Compile in the sense you will be checking for the errors. That will be done by Java C compiler. So that will be converted into bytecode. So bytecode is nothing but what? It is a class file. So that will be, so for that you require, for that class file you give the input on black screen, and for that is the, then we may come across the word Java virtual machine used for the Windows operating system to get us the output. So this is the another particular thing. The same diagram can be illustrated here. The Java program fed as input for the compiler will generate a class file that is called as a Java bytecode program. So that particular Java bytecode program can be interpreted in the sense, take the input and give the output. So that will be done through Mac interpreter for Mac OS, interpreter for Windows, and interpreter for Linux. So what is the bytecode now? So bytecode, as you all know, the bytecode is a class file which consists of binary zeros and ones, but in bytes. So that means zeros and ones combination will be given in 8 bits long. So that we call it as a bytecode. So we can easily execute that particular code in using this particular diagram. So at compile time, so you will be having Java source, that is .java as a high level program language. So that is fed into the compiler, and that particular compiler will generate a bytecode that is called as a class file. But that class file, we are giving the input for our statements. So that it will be done at the JRE, that is the runtime, Java runtime environment, by the JIT compiler, which gives the native machine level code. So bytecode is the intermediate code, JVM is abstract, which takes an input that is bytecode. So this is the particular thing what you get the compiled languages. So first you will be having the text editor. So source code.c file will be there. So compiler object code.o file will be there. Link or executable file will be there. So now you come for the Java development kit. So what is the Java development kit? It is a kit is a software which consists of so many things. So what are the so many things will consist? These are the things. One is Java C, that is a compiler, and Java interpreter, JDB, debugger, happy to hear, and so many things. But very important are Java C and Java. These are the two. Java compiler, what it does, it runs your program and converts into the class file. Now for that class file, you give the input. Similar to the program, what you get addition of two numbers, it will ask you for enter the value for A and B, right? So same thing, now you are giving the values to the interpreter. That interpreter will take your input and process the thing and get the output. So these are the two very important Java C and Java. So next, object-oriented. So up to that part, what we have discussed is the chapter 1 of module 2. So now we move on to the chapter 2 of the object-oriented programming. So first we have the two paradigms that are code and the data. So two paradigms. So now these two are used by both the Java as well as C. So now you keep on comparing C with Java, not with C++, because from C++ only you are getting this particular Java. So first paradigm is POP, that is procedure oriented programming. So that means you are having the code. For that code, you are giving the input, which may give any type of result. So that is the C programming language. We call it as procedure oriented programming, that is code. Now you come for the data, that is OOP. So under OOP, you can tell it as we are having the data. Using the data, what are all the operations you can do and what are all the outputs you can get. So explaining with an example, I can tell you like we are writing the program. So program is ready. So for the program, you have to think what input you can give. So suppose I have written the addition of two numbers using C language. So for that, you have to take the things like numbers 1 and 2 as data, but data is not there. Program will be executed. It will ask you for enter the value for A and B. So at that time, if you give A 1 plus 2, it will give you an answer 3. But if you give A and B, you won't get the output. So that is code is there, but you should be aware of giving the values, correct values to get the result. But when you come for object oriented, you are having 1 and 2 as the data. There is no program. Using 1 and 2, what are the programs you can write and what are the outputs you can get? So that will come under object oriented programming, that is data. So these are the two. So C means programming is there but not the data, but the output is not there and values you are not giving. But when you come for the object oriented, first you have to come for the data. Next you think of what programs you are supposed to do. So next you come for the concept called abstraction. So abstraction in the sense you can tell it very easily. So abstract means everything will be placed inside one particular sheet. That is called as an abstraction. Next we come across the following three principles: encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. So first you come for the abstraction concept. So what's the abstraction means? It is a one particular thing which consists of everything. So suppose you write any Java program with a file name A, that is a.java. So then you have to make use of class. Inside the class there should be main. Inside the main there should be a set of executable statements. Then we call a class as an abstract or a main function as an abstract. So followed with a number of things. So that is, we call it as abstraction. So inside the abstraction, we can tell that there are a number of objects. So each n number of objects are placed inside that particular thing. Similarly, inside the main class, you can have a number of data members, member functions, main function, everything. So everything will be placed inside the class, and that particular class will consist of objects. So next you come for simple Java program. So under simple Java program, I will be extending the things with the thing called example.java. Example is a file name and .java is the programming code. So here is a simple Java program. As I have already told, there is the example called class. So inside the class, you will be having a main function. Inside the main, there will be a set of executable statements. So class example is the class name which consists of a main function. For the main function, you will be having the so many keywords like public, static, and void. So each and everything will be placed inside the string arguments. So using that, you will be printing a simple statement. So in C, if you are taking it as a printf, now we are in Java, C++, we have taken it as cout, but in Java, it will be you are using system.out.println. So system means it is a printf will come under system function. Under system function, there are so many input and output statements. So print is an output statement. So we are considering it as out followed with a print ln. Ln will represent line. So the print ln will give you prints the particular output line which is placed inside the system. So this is a simple program. So now we can tell the continuation of that particular thing. Java source file may contain one or more class. For now, we are having only one class, that is example. So name of the source file and name of the class must hold, the main must be same. So if you are taken the class name as example, then the file name should also be in terms of example.java only. So save the files with the .java extension, and all the Java code will be placed inside the main within the inside the class within the main, and each and every keyword is a case sensitive. So compiling the program. So compiling a Java program by using the compiler called Java C. So Java is the argument with C as a C is the name Java. C means compiler. So in order to compile the program, while compiling, you will be able to convert a high-level .java program into bytecode, that is a class file. So that's why we are giving it as Java C example.java. So when you give, there will be no syntax errors. If there are no syntax errors, then the class file will be created, and that class file is called as a bytecode, that is example.class. So by it is an intermediate representation. You for that intermediate representation, you will be giving the input for that particular class file, and output will be given by the Java virtual machine. So output is not correct, then there will be no class file. So execution, while giving, once there are no errors, to get the output, you usually run the program with Java. So to compile, we use the words Java C, and to run, you use the words Java with file name. So when you run that, that printable statement will be executed. This is a simple Java program. So next. So now you're coming for the comments. You'll be using the comments in C. You'll be using with slash and star, and while as in C++ you are using with double slash. But Java supports three types of comments. So first one is single line comment. Single line you should be using two double slash, whereas multi-line comment we are making use of slash with star with the first line, and star with slash with the last line. So that is the comment types. So next you use the class name. So inside the class name you should be having the flower brackets end and close, that marks the end of the class file. Next you give the main function. So inside the main function you are calling both the void, static, public, each and everything. So public word, so public means, so now you consider the main function. So main function is also considered as a member function. So inside the member function, we will be calling it as a public keyword. So all the member functions by default will be public. All the data members by default will be private. So that's why we call this main function is a member function. So that member function is we declared as public. So public is access specifiers to control the class members. When the class member is public, then that member cannot be assigned outside the class. So all Java programs will be begin by executing by calling the main function. So the keyword static will be allowed without having to have a dynamic programming language. So next we have the system.out.print. It is an printable statement which will be used for printing one or more lines. Println displays a string and cursor comes to next line. When you go for print, displays the string and cursor remains in same line. That is println, difference between println and print. So we use system.out.println. So system.out.println will be given system. So system is it is used for standard IO devices of your system. Suppose If you want to take the printf statement, you will be including hash include stdio.h. Similarly, in order to include that system IO, you will be using the word system. So this system is a word which is placed inside the header file. So in C and C++, we call it as header file, but in Java, we call it as a package. So wherever you use the word header file .h, here you will be making use of the word package. So stdio is similar to the package java.lang. So system.out, it will be used to print that particular statement. So this is a second short program you are going to consider. So under second short program, here is the variable. So can you guess what can be the output of this particular? So take this particular example, class example2. So what is the class name? It is okay, example2. So the file name should also be example2. So inside the example2, we'll be having a main function. So main function we call an variable or an object num. So num will be given the value 1000. So now you are going to, that is the value 100, sorry, not 1000, 100. So 100 will be given to the variable or an object called num. Now you are going to print that particular num. So that will be given at a system.out.println. This is num plus num. So what is the meaning of this plus? It is an append operator. So append the value stored in the variable num to the code, to the empty space within the quotes. So that is a plus num you will be giving. Next, you are having num is equal to num star 2. So value of num star 2 is, next, that is, it is printing the first, in the first line you will be getting this is num 100, because you are having plus num, it is println statement. So println means what you will be getting. So println will print that particular value and it remains in the same line. But when you come for the print, so it comes to the next line, but when you come for the print, it will be in the same line only. So that is print. If you are taking, if your value, there is no value, next you are taking print out, then you are printing the value. 100 star 2 will give the value. Can you guess what are all the changes you are having? When you give println, the value will be placed there only, and then there is no append operator. But when you come for print, so what is the meaning of print you are having? You are having a value, but not, but cursor remains in same line only. So that explanation we are giving in this particular thing, you can easily understand here the difference is only in between print and println. In first println, the value will be printed, but when you go for the print, execute the statement and cursor remains in same line. So when you execute the second statement, println num, now it has the cursor will be in same line, you will be getting the value 200 in that particular line only. So next you come for the word control statements. So under the word control statements, so how many control statements you will be having? So control statements means first you will be having if else if, nested if, so many. It is similar to what you have in your C and C++. As Java is derived from C++, the words remain same, but only the syntax changes will be there. So first you come for the if statement. So if statement, the syntax will be simple statement. You have come across the word simple if. So that is, this particular statement will be done. So when you have that particular if statement, C++ and C. If condition with a statement. If condition is true, the statement is executed. If condition is false, the statement will not be executed. So if the condition, if num less than 100, num is, in this case, if num contains a value that is less than 100, that means num should already assign a value. So if it is less than 100, the conditional expression will true and println will execute. If the num contains a value greater than, then a println method will not be executed. This is similar to simple if statement. So here is an example. So can you guess what is the class name? So here the class name is if sample. So if as the class name is if sample, then the file name what you save should also be class name only. That is if sample.java. So inside that you have a main function. Inside you call an objects x and y and assign the values 10 and 20. So now you call a function if x less than y. So you are printing a statement. So x is less than y. What are all the values? 10 is less than 20. If condition is true, then the statement x is less than y will be printed. So next you have a value x is equal to x star 2. So what is the x value now? So x value now is 20. Now come for the next if statement. If 20 double equals 20. So x is multiplied with 2. So 10 is multiplied with 2 means 20. So assign the values x and y with x also 10, 20 and y also 20. So 20 double equals 20 means condition is true. This printf statement is executed. That is x now equal to y. So now again increase the value of x. That is x is equal to x star 2. So what is the x value now? 20. 20 star 2 will goes for value of 40. So x 40 greater than 20. So now is 40 greater than 20? Condition yes. Then you print the statement x now greater than y. So now you have the value x is equal to 40 and y is equal to 20. Now you come for the fourth if statement. That is 40 double equals 20. Is the condition is true? No, the condition is false. So you won't get this particular last printf statement executable. So this is the simple if statement. So keep in your mind, it is a simple if, there is no else part. Only the condition is true, the statement will be executed. If not, no. So next you come for the for loop. So under the for loop, what are all the things you are having? So all these things will be there. So for loop or it is the simplest form. You will be having the same three columns what you have for the C programming. That is I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. I equals 0 means the value 0 will be initialized to the variable I. That is initialization. Next I less than 10. So it is a relational expression called as condition. Next, I plus plus, that is the iteration statement. So if all this are, if the loop are executing, the statements keep on executing. So here is a simple program. So class name as file name is for test. Inside that you are having a main function string arrays. So inside that you give a value x. So next you give x equal to 0, x less than 10, x is equal to x plus 1. It is similar to x is equal to x plus plus. So if until from x is equal to 0 until x value becomes 10, you will be having a executable value, printable value of x. So that is printf statement. So first you carry on the iteration. So first x will be 0. 0 is less than 10. Condition is true. Then if condition is true, the printf statement is executed. That is x is equal to 0. So now x is incremented. So it becomes 1. So now x value is equal to 1. 1 is less than 10. The condition is true. So the printf statement is executed. So all the things x keeps on incrementing and will be repeated. So when x becomes 9, so 9 less than 10. Okay. So condition is true. The x value, this is x9, that will be printed. But when you come now x is incremented, it becomes 10. So 10 less than 10. So condition is false. At that time you won't get that particular x printed as 10 because you are ending with x less than 10. So that is the explanation what you are going to have it here. You can I will share you this particular thing. You can easily understand what are all the concepts. So now you come for, there was one for loop, one statement. Now you are going for two for loops and there are so many statements. So at that time, two variables, okay, two variables with one for statement. At that time, what you do, you see. So here class name is block test. So call this file blocktest.java. So inside this we provide a main function. So call a object variables x and y with y is equal to 20. So target of the loop, now you have to see what all the things you will be getting. So first you initialize x is equal to 0. So x less than 10, x plus plus. This is x and this is y. So now x will be printed, y will also be printed, and only x will be incremented but not y. So for each time, whenever the x keeps incrementing, y keeps decremented by 2. Okay, that is the statement what you are having. So first initially x is equal to 0. So it prints x, it prints y, x is incremented by 1. So first you will be getting x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 20, and x increments by 1, y decrements by 2. So when x is incremented, you get the x value 1. But what is the y value? Y decrements by 2. So first initially you will be getting 20. Next, as x increases with 10, y decreases with 2. So you will be starting with 20. When you go for x is equal to 9, y becomes 2. So that is the next particular concept, that is use of for loops. Next, you come for the word lexical issues. So under lexical issues, what are all the problems? So lexical issues means if there is any syntax errors while writing, if you are making use of any semicolon, missing semicolon, colon, or in place of println, you have written print, so println, so many, the mistakes done by you people, it is called as syntax errors or lexical issues. So what are all the things you should be familiar means? Java program or collection of white spaces, identifiers, literals, comments, operators, separators, and keywords. So white space, first you come for white space, it does not allow any white spaces. So could be written all on one line or in any other. So white space is a tab, space, or a new line. Identifier. So identifier means any variable names, method names, class names, whatever you take x, y, a, b, and all. So all the way identifiers should be correct. So there should be no change. So come for the literals. So coming for literals means these are the literals. Literal constant value is created by using literal representation, that is 100, 90, 80, x. Now, so all these are literals. So come for the comments, separators, you will be familiar with all these things. So there is no need to describe. So first one is parenthesis, braces, bracket, semicolon, comma, period, all this will come under this particular things. So next you come for the words, Java keywords. So Java keywords concept, you will be discussing it in the later class. So that will be discussed. So I will end up with Java classes, Java keywords. Next, you go for the next chapter, data types, variables, and arrays. So under Java keywords, how many keywords the C programming will be having? In C and C++ program, we have 32 keywords. So keywords will include data types, conditions, control statements, loopings. So many things will be there, structure, union, so many. So in Java, we are having 50 keywords. So from 32, you are adding another 12, 18 keywords as extra. So these are the keywords what you are having. So keep this one in your mind. So the other keywords we will discuss in the later. So for now, I will be ending the class. So everything will be shared on the YouTube. So please, you people share with that particular things.